day, everyone. We'll be getting started just momentarily. We're trying to give everyone time to join us. Make sure that you participate in the Menti poll. If you join, we ask that you are on mute and you will be able to respond or submit questions in the chat. We'll be getting started shortly.
Do you guys have access to your MSN right now?
Yeah, I have it right on my phone.
Okay. So I have Patty, Patty, then John, John, and then your last name at msn.com.
Correct.
Can we ask everyone to go on mute, please? Thank you.
Cooler weather.
So Tatiana, just to let you all in on something, was aiming for the whole, support with the pumpkin spice thing. So. Go dogs. Okay.
Yes. Football. Woo! Many of you guys know I'm from Arkansas. So as a little kid, I followed the Arkansas Razorbacks, and I can call the Hogs. Woo! Pig Suey, Arkansas Razorbacks. Woo! They're winning because we're not going to talk about my Florida State Seminoles. They're just not doing well right now. So I'm going to claim my Razorbacks.
See, just when you think Deidre doesn't have any more talents, look at that.
That's right. And I got another talent that's called, I was right not to schedule a 2-hour virtual call. So I'm taking thank yous in the tool chat. If y'all want to thank me that this call is not 2 hours.
Oh.
I'm taking
let it go. I was actually hoping for a 2-hour call, so I don't know.
Sure. I like it when I'm right. All right.
All right, well, we can go ahead and get started. So thank you everyone for joining us today. I'm super excited about our upcoming presentation, but before we get started, let me just go ahead and go over the Symposium 3 agenda. Can you all believe that we actually have 3 symposiums technically under our belt now? So we will hear from Nidra for opening remarks, and then our presenter today is one of our fabulous mentors, Shelby Ruan, and she will be telling us something that, hey, why people buy from you. So from the marketing perspective, after her presentation, we will do a Q&A. So I ask that you put all your questions or save them to the end of her presentation and put them in the chat. And as we always do, we'll just kind of go down the line, as time permits, to have her to respond to your questions. And for those that we don't get to, we will, like we always do, we will post them in the tool. So just again, here's our housekeeping. Please, 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 please keep your microphone on mute. Post the questions in the chat. And then, as I said, you'll have an opportunity at the end to ask questions at the end of the presentation. We are recording this meeting. And the PowerPoint presentation that Shelby will share will be in the SME DE tool under Be in the Know. And then be sure to have your Menti poll handy, because we will definitely be using this throughout the presentation. We'll go ahead and get started. All right, so there's no introduction needed for the Razorback / Florida State fan with many talents. And so we, need to
out to time a session. Oh, you guys will never live that down. Anyway, thank you all for being here. And as Cecily said, third symposium, we're coming up on 6 months, and I hope that you understand why the program is 18 months. It gives you that time to really catch your rhythm. It gives you that time to really understand, what is it that I need to work on? And as the mentor, how can I help my mentee? So we're hoping that you're starting to find some of those synergies. And if you don't, you have all of us to call and ping and say, hey, I'm just having an issue, or maybe I'm not doing this right. Can you help me? Please, that's our job. I think somebody's not on mute.
It's like, oh my God, that's so.
I don't know, Cecily, if we can mute everybody.
Yeah.
Bye, bud. Bye, bud. Thank you. Bye, bud.
Somebody's having.
Thank you.
I'm on. Muted me. I'm talking.
Yeah.
So what I really want to make sure at this check-in point that's so important is that this is really benefiting your time. You not only have to run a business as a supplier, but you also have a day job as a mentor. And so what's so important now is, I bring it back, supplier diversity has center stage. And it's now that we constantly are bringing the right message. Like, I'm loving it that I get to talk about how bright the diverse suppliers are. Again, I question why people want to be entrepreneurs, but hey, you do it and I got a job. So thank you. But it is very eye-opening of how much we're still constantly educating our stakeholders about the great things that diverse suppliers can do. And we just had a meeting with Imelda that's in your class, this class here with AP 42. And I did a TikTok video. They didn't think I know what I was doing. Cecily, you forgot about that talent that I was doing a TikTok video. So my point is, we can innovate. If there's nothing that you might not have to on the agenda with your mentor, your mentee, use those sessions as brainstorming. That's exactly what it is for. Leverage that to figure out how you can really get those thoughts to going. Also, I did talk with some of our mentors, and some of the feedback I got was, they just didn't have the time to go into the tool and put the task in there, right? And so that's where you kind of leverage us, let's really get in there to do this. And this tool was created and innovated by a diverse supplier. So think about it. If you were a diverse supplier, don't you want somebody to use your stuff? So let's think about it on how we would do it. And I'm doing it myself, trying to leverage how I can go in more. So, but if you can't, and because of your day job, we all have rock stars that are our mentors, then leverage us, right? Leverage Tatiana, Shay, Cecily, and myself. That's a part of what our role is in leading this DSDP. So I will just turn it over to Shelby. But before she comes on, to tell you how great Shelby was, I came to Shelby with an idea, with a crazy idea. I think she's a little crazy because she was like, oh, that's a great idea. So I was like, yeah, I kind of questioned her on it. But she made that idea happen. That's what this is about. This is where it all comes in. So Shelby, I can do not enough but to turn it over to you.
Shelby, you're on mute.
I think she just wanted me to do a TikTok video. Not gonna happen, not gonna happen. Stay on mute, I might do it.
Come on, girl. We want to see the TikTok videos too. Well, at least I know I do.
So,
Okay.
and guess what? I'm about to get another cup of coffee, so.
Yeah.
Go on mute, Shelby.
All right. Can y'all hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Okay. I appreciate it. Sorry. I'm having tech issues and I'm a little discombobulated today. So thank you for having me. I appreciate it. I saw that you flashed up my bio there. I think the big message about me and what I do is that I am I've been at Accenture a very long time and done every single role there is to do in marketing except possibly, like chief marketing officer. So that's me, and I'm happy to talk to you today. We had like such a vast topic. Could you talk about marketing? And I was like, well, there's whole schools that just spend 4 years talking about that. So I wasn't sure what to talk about, and I asked some business owners, and I asked my DSDP team, and all of that, and I got a lot of different answers. But the one that resonated with me is what's the most impactful thing I can do to grow my business that marketing can support without a massive price tag? So what can I do? And I thought, well, I know what we can discuss. And the great news is that it's free. So that's what we're going to discuss today. To set the stage, I'm going to start with a brief overview of the marketing lifecycle and brand definition. And then you'll get a chance to meet one of my favorite authors. His name is Simon Sinek, and he's going to explain a concept that he calls the golden circle. After that, I'm going to go through the golden circle in a little more detail, and then we'll touch on some how-tos and then leave some time for questions. Next slide. I think we have a poll. Sorry, I am struggling to see. All right. Yeah. So yeah. How comfortable are you with marketing? So please, for those of you who know how to use Menti, go to menti.com, use the code 30972705 and let me know where we're at. I'm assuming we have more than 6 folks on the line.
We have someone that says they're practically an expert, so that's great. Oh, a couple people.
Good. That's great. Okay.
So it looks like the consensus, Shelby, is that, they have the capability, but would rather someone else do it. Right.
Okay. Gotcha. That's great. So then I am just going to, I want to make sure that we set the stage where you're at. And so let's do that. So I'm going to explain this is Accenture's kind of standard marketing life cycle. So and I'll just touch briefly on what. Sorry, I am just having some technical difficulties. I apologize here. So yeah, forgive me if you know all this already. I just want to set the context and talk about this purchase cycle. So, and make sure that you are able to utilize all of the channels that you have at your disposal. So, and this I think has some builds. So let's, I'm not sure if that's on there or not. I think it's in Menti, so it's up there. Okay. No, that's okay. Go back. Yeah, great. So very rarely do you see somebody come in and with absolutely no awareness whatsoever of your product or your service, and then make that purchase in like one pitch session, right? It's a process that we build and we get our customers through so that they can they gain trust in us and confidence in the that they believe that it's the right fit for them. So there are several different types of campaigns that can support each leg of the life cycle. And I'll touch at the top, the brand campaign. I mean, this is making your target audience aware of your product or service. The entire rest of the presentation is about this, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time here. Category awareness, knowledge campaign. Once a customer is aware of you, you want them to know more about you, so so that they can consider making that purchase. And marketing campaigns that will increase awareness and build knowledge could include channels like advertising, social media, website, direct mail, more. This is about just continuing to build awareness and knowledge about what you do. A market campaign, you drive business specific marketing campaigns to seal consideration. So these are things like publishing or sharing research through your direct channels, or demonstrating your expertise with a point of view. This could be as simple as sharing something on social media and building a network of people who pay attention to what you're talking about. Opportunity-centric, this is where you kind of get to like I'm practically there, right? I think I can seal this deal. And so this is where marketing can support a deal specific by building campaign tools and templates that are customized to address the needs of that client and that specific opportunity. And then lastly, a marketing campaign could be around loyalty. So this is systematically focusing on the client. Marketing campaigns to increase loyalty could include surveys, rewards, holiday cards, like anything that creates those touch points to remind folks that you're there and that you're their partner and you're thinking about them. So that's the marketing life cycle that I wanted to start with. But as mentioned, it all starts with awareness of your brand. So next slide, please. All right. Back one, please. Thanks. A brand is really difficult to define. So you're going to get, if you ask that question, you're going to get 1,000 different answers. I'll give you a couple of the more famous ones. David Ogilvy, who's known as the father of advertising, defined brand as the intangible sum of a product's attributes. Marty Neumeier, who's also an author and speaker on brand, defines what brand is not. He says a brand is not a logo. It's not an identity. It's not a product. When he defines it, he says that a brand is a person's gut feeling about a product, service, or organization. So super easy, right? Well, I'm going to help you get there. So that definition of your brand is going to be the thing that marketing can help your organization do with very little cost. So next slide. Okay, this is again Simon Sinek, who is an author. He writes a lot of business books, but basically this is what he says. If you want to define your brand, you need to start with why. And I think he puts it best that people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. So let's let Simon unpack that for you. And with that, there's a video that 5-minute video that I'm asking to share. Oh, I also want to mention that this talk is from 2010. He's done it a million times, but and it's free. All this information is free, but since it's from 2010, the example he uses is a little bit dated, but you're going to get it. So thanks. You may want to share the sound. I'm not hearing sound. Is everyone else?
No,
Yeah, I
can't
think
hear.
just one second. Tatiana, I think we need to take you off the mute, maybe.
So I think when you share the video, you have to make sure that it has that audio is on.
Yeah. You might have to like reshare your desktop. Nope, still can't hear. Do you know how to do that where you share the sound?
Yeah, I was playing earlier. Tatiana, maybe because you're on mute.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sharing the sounds. Was struggling. Yeah, it worked before. It's the same exact way. So it's.
There's a pattern. As it turns out, all the great and inspiring leaders and organizations in the world, whether it's Apple or Martin Luther King or the Wright brothers, they all think, act, and communicate the exact same way, and it's the complete opposite to everyone else. All I did was codify it. And it's probably the world's simplest idea. I call it the golden circle. Why, how, what? This little idea explains why some organizations and some leaders are able to inspire where others aren't. Let me define the terms really quickly. Every single person, every single organization on the planet knows what they do 100%. Some know how they do it, whether you call it your differentiating value proposition or your proprietary process or your USP. But very, very few people or organizations know why they do what they do. And by why, I don't mean to make a profit. That's a result. It's always a result. By why, I mean what's your purpose? What's your cause? What's your belief? Why does your organization exist? Why do you get out of bed in the morning? And why should anyone care? Well, as a result, the way we think, the way we act, the way we communicate is from the outside in. It's obvious. We go from the clearest thing to the fuzziest thing. But the inspired leaders and the inspired organizations, regardless of their size, regardless of industry, all think, act, and communicate from the inside out. Let me give you an example. I use Apple because they're easy to understand and everybody gets it. If Apple were like everyone else, a marketing message from them might sound like this. We make great computers. They're beautifully designed, simple to use, and user-friendly. Want to buy one? Meh. And that's how most of us communicate. That's how most marketing is done, that's how most sales is done, and that's how most of us communicate interpersonally. We say what we do, we say how we're different or how we're better, and we expect some sort of behavior, a purchase, a vote, something like that. Here's our new law firm. We have the best lawyers with the biggest clients. We have, we always perform for our clients, do business with us. Here's our new car. It gets great gas mileage. It has, leather seats. Buy our car. But it's uninspiring. Here's how Apple actually communicates. Everything we do, we believe in challenging the status quo. We believe in thinking differently. The way we challenge the status quo is by making our products beautifully designed, simple to use, and user-friendly. We just happen to make great computers. Want to buy one? Totally different, right? You're ready to buy a computer from me. All I did was reverse the order of the information. What it proves to us is that people don't buy what you do, people buy why you do it. People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. This explains why every single person in this room is perfectly comfortable buying a computer from Apple. But we're also perfectly comfortable buying an MP3 player from Apple, or a phone from Apple, or a DVR from Apple. But as I said before, Apple's just a computer company. There's nothing that distinguishes them structurally from any of their competitors. Their competitors are all equally qualified to make all of these products. In fact, they tried. A few years ago, Gateway came out with flat screen TVs. They're eminently qualified to make flat screen TVs. They've been making flat screen monitors for years. Nobody bought one. And Dell came out with MP3 players and PDAs. And they make great quality products, and they can make perfectly well-designed products, and nobody bought one. In fact, talking about it now, we can't even imagine buying an MP3 player from Dell. Why would you buy an MP3 player from a computer company? But we do it every day. People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. The goal is not to do business with everybody who needs what you have. The goal is to do business with people who believe what you believe. Here's the best part. None of what I'm telling you is my opinion. It's all grounded in the tenets of biology, not psychology, biology. If you look at a cross-section of the human brain, looking from the top down, what you see is the human brain is actually broken into 3 major components that correlate perfectly with the golden circle. Our newest brain, our Homo sapien brain, our neocortex, corresponds with the what level. The neocortex is responsible for all of our rational and analytical thought and language. The middle 2 sections make up our limbic brains, and our limbic brains are responsible for all of our feelings, like trust and loyalty. It's also responsible for all human behavior, all decision-making, and it has no capacity for language. In other words, when we communicate from the outside in, yes, people can understand vast amounts of complicated information like features and benefits and facts and figures. It just doesn't drive behavior. When we communicate from the inside out, we're talking directly to the part of the brain that controls behavior, and then we allow people to rationalize it with the tangible things we say and do. This is where gut decisions come from. You know, sometimes you can give somebody all the facts and your figures and they say, I know what all the facts and details say, but it just doesn't feel right. Why would we use that verb? It doesn't feel right, because the part of the brain that controls decision-making doesn't control language. And the best we can muster up is, I don't know, it just doesn't feel right. Or sometimes you say you're leading with your heart or you're leading with your soul. Well, I hate to break it to you, those aren't other body parts controlling your behavior. It's all happening here in your limbic brain, the part of the brain that controls decision-making and not language.
All right. So, yeah, I hope that
YouTube ads beat Facebook ads every.
Sorry, we're still there. Okay. You want to go to the next slide? And one more. Thanks. So I hope that resonated with you. I hope you heard something in there that made sense. I mean, when I first saw it, which was back then, I thought, oh my goodness, this is what drives purchase behavior. This is what we need to be talking to. So the next few slides that I'm going to show you are in fact free. They're on Simon's website, and you are welcome to share them and go get them and all his videos and all of that. But let me just briefly take you through again what he talked about and make sure that it's real clear, because I know that was probably a bit of a flyby. Every organization knows what they do, right? These are the products and services that you sell or offer. Next slide is the how. Sorry there, lost my thing. Okay, and this is a little bit trickier. It's some organizations know how they do what they do. Hows are meant to communicate what makes us special, sets us apart from others who do something similar. Hows are an organization's strengths, values, and guiding principles. They can also include our unique value, differentiating value proposition. You've heard that probably before from folks in marketing. It's our value proposition, our proprietary process, or our unique selling proposition. So as an example, you could have 2 educators that teach the same subject at the same school for the same age group. The content in their curriculum, their what is identical in every way, but the way they teach it their hows could differ. So one educator approaches the content from an analytical perspective, and the other approaches it from an interactive and collaborative perspective. Different students will be attracted to different approaches. This applies to organizations. While you may do and sell the same things, the way in which you deliver that product or service is unique. Next slide. Sorry about all this pinging. All right, the why. As Simon says, very few people and few organizations can clearly articulate why they do what they do. The why is the purpose, cause, or belief that drives every one of us. It provides a clear answer to the questions: why do you get out of bed every morning? Why does your organization exist beyond your products, growth, and profit? And why should anyone care? And money is not a why. Again, reinforcing what Simon said. Revenues, profit, salaries, other monetary measurements are simply results of what we do. The why is about our contribution to impact and serve others. The why inspires. Next slide, please. All right. And people naturally just communicate from the outside in. They typically go from what's easiest to understand to what's hardest to understand. And so they tell people what they do. They tell them how they are different and better. And then they expect some sort of behavior as a result, like a purchase, a vote, or support. And to use another example here, this is how most organizations communicate. The what is, here's our law firm. The how, we have specialized expertise in a wide range of practice areas. We transform complexity into simple action. We go above and beyond every day. Come do business with our law firm. The problem is that the what and the how don't inspire action. Facts and figures make rational sense, but people don't make decisions purely based on facts and figures. Starting with what is what commodities do. Starting with why is what leaders do, and leaders inspire. Next slide. Leaders and organizations with the capacity to inspire all think, act, and communicate from the inside out. They start with their why. When they communicate their purpose or cause first, they communicate in a way that drives decision-making and behavior. It literally taps the part of your brain that influences behavior. I'm not going to go into that brain science here. When you get the slides at the end, there's more information about that, and you're welcome to explore it. But again, it taps into the part of the brain that makes decisions, that has no capacity for language. So let's go back to that example with the same law firm and start with their why. Why? We exist to enable growth and progress so that people can make the difference the way they want to make in their world. How? We have specialized expertise in a wide range of practice areas. We transform complexity into simple action, and we go above and beyond every day. What? We are a world-class law firm. Come see for yourself. If the people at this firm actually believe their why and think, act, and communicate starting with their why, they will attract people who believe what they believe and who want to be a part of their cause. If this law firm leads from the inside out, their employees will feel inspired and rallied together, and that feeling always makes its way to their customers. And I say that again, it is really a law of attraction here that we're talking about. When you talk about why you do what you do, you share your values, and someone else who has similar values is attracted to that. Next. Okay. So in order for this golden circle to work, You have to have three things: the clarity of the why, the discipline of the how, and the consistency of what. And no one section of this golden circle is more important than the other. You do need to have a balance across all three. If you don't know why you do what you do, how can you expect anyone else to know? And for others to know your why, you personally have to have clarity on that yourself. So that has to be in your mind clear and articulatable. The how. And in order to bring that why to life, you must be disciplined in living your house. So you have to behave in ways that are aligned with your values, guiding principles, strengths, and beliefs. And I'm going to show you some examples of this. And then with the what, everything you say and do must be consistent with what you believe. After all, we live in a tangible world, and the only way people will know what you believe is if you say so and that you actually do the things you believe. And this is what it means to be truly authentic. I think you'll also find that the generation after the millennials, the ones that are just coming up right now, you'll find that generation is very interested in authenticity. So this new upcoming group of consumers will find that they resonate with that strongly. Next slide. So it's not just a communication tool. This is also, it also provides some great insight into the way great organizations are structured. So if we imagine the golden circle as a three-dimensional model, it's a top-down view of a cone. And the cone represents an organization which is an inherently organized system. And at the top of the system, representing why, is a leader. So she or he articulates the why and points to a vision of a better future. The next level down, the how level, includes the people who are inspired by that leader's cause. They're willing to give their discretionary effort and to sacrifice in order to bring that vision to life. And then the what at the bottom of the cone are the things the organization says and does that breathe life into the why. They make it tangible. And an organization communicates its why through everything it says and does, its marketing, the products and services the company provides, the decisions its leaders make, everything. Next slide. The cone also serves as a megaphone. For a message to spread, it must be loud and clear. Loud is relatively easy. It's marketing through your channels. Clear is harder. Clear requires the leader to communicate and exemplify the why as the mouthpiece of the megaphone, and to cascade that communication and action throughout the organization in a consistent way. When an organization is clear about its purpose or its why, everyone from its employees to its customers can understand it. And this clarity invites everyone who interacts with the organization to become champions of the cause, should they choose. It can inspire people to create products, services, solutions, and marketing that brings the why to life. When everything you say and does echoes what you believe, you end up with a message that is loud and clear, which now is going to bring me to how we express our brand and how we do that. But first, there's another poll that I want to take here. So knowing this, or, you know, if you believe this, where do you think you need to invest some time? And the Menti poll, I think, is the same as we had last time, the same number.
So it looks like all three in the why. I don't know if doesn't look like everybody's voting.
Okay. Yeah. But so far we haven't seen anyone who says like, I've totally got this. Oh, you got one. Okay, awesome. Oh, great. I think that the point is that this is something that you really do work on a lot. It's not intuitive until it is. And so I just wanted to bring that out and say, hey, we should all be investing all the time in making sure that we're articulating our story. Let's move on to the next slide. Yeah. So how do you express that? And your brand expression is all about how your brand shows up in the world. And the highlight here, it's the story you tell about yourselves and what you do best. Choosing the right messaging, tone, and design for your brand expression helps show the world the extraordinary things that you do for your clients today. But more than that, it creates energy, excitement, and momentum for everything you and your client can do together tomorrow. Next slide. This is an example from Accenture. And I wanted to show you this because this is Accenture's purpose plus its expression of the purpose. And so our purpose is to deliver on the promise of technology and human ingenuity. And the way we express that is through bold human imagery, strong, powerful typography, succinct messaging that reflects that purpose. And our statement is let there be change. And if you look at some of the different examples here, you'll see that all of our messages are consistent with what we believe. We believe that you can be your best here at Accenture. We believe that our people are what makes it possible. We believe that we have to get to net zero in order to create a sustainable world. Things like that. These are all about what Accenture believes. None of this really talks about what we do.
Hey, Shelby, I think that's such a great point. And what I'd like to add on this is we took that let there be change. And as we're looking at how we can bring that into supplier inclusion and supplier diversity, I thought about, as I said earlier, supplier diversity has a stage now. We're front and center. Everybody's wanting to know, where are the great small and diverse owned businesses? So let there be change. So I think this is such a great example, Shelby, because this not only talks about the whole thing, like everybody within Accenture, we can still leverage that into our message and to, how that can be changed in my department, in my group, still tying it back to Accenture's purpose. So I think this is such a great example. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. I agree. I mean, and so you're going to now ask me, which is what I'm going to hopefully help a little bit with, which is how do you do this? And so we'll go to the next slide, and I'm just going to give you a few tips because I actually can't necessarily do all of this for you in a presentation. But so I'm going to leave you with these few how-tos, and I'm going to touch on a few things that I want to highlight. The first, like the number 2 there, speak human. You are talking to people, and people speak the way people speak. Use the language that gets them. Like people constantly talk about consultancies using jargon. I agree. Don't talk like that. Talk how people talk, because we have emotions, we respond, react, and so use those things. The other one here, another one I want to point out is this, what we call kill your darlings. So there may be something that you just love to talk about, that you think is so great about your company that you like, absolutely, again, it's like maybe the what or the how, but it's not going to resonate in the particular story that you want to tell. So just be prepared to customize and adapt and let your favorite thing go if that's the right story that you need to tell in that instance. And then lastly on this one, be concise. I cannot reiterate this enough. Ruthlessly edit yourself. If you saw, the whole list of attributes and everything that we wanted to talk about in our brand expression, you'd be amazed. It's very long, but it's all in let there be change. And that's what you want to get to, is something that people can attach to very concisely. Next slide. And then structuring your story. The point here is that all great stories actually start, begin, and end the same way. So imagine yourself like telling a Disney story or a Marvel story, and this is the structure that they use. And in this, you'll see that in this structure, this is how you apply it in business. So this is a sample for you, again, to walk away with a how-to. And that's it. So I'm here for, that's the appendix. So just go back, yeah. Okay, awesome, thanks. Oops, yeah, that you can see this is Simon stuff. You're absolutely welcome to visit that and just Q&A. It's great.
Thank you, Shelby. That was really, really insightful. Thank you so much. I hope everyone was able to, really gain some insight onto the how, but most importantly, the why. I thought that was really great. And so we definitely want to take this time to, open up for questions. So if you have questions for Shelby, let's put them in the chat, and then we can definitely, ask you to come off mute. And Shay, if you could just check to see the questions in the chat, and then, everyone knows the routine. So, yes, great job, Shay.
Yeah, thank you.
Anita, you placed something in the chat you want to ask? You're on mute.
Here we go. Sorry, I thought I had taken it off. Fantastic presentation. I loved it. And I work in marketing, so I was one of those.
Oh, you do?
Says,
okay.
Yes. I was just wondering if you'd be willing to share that why example from the law firm again.
Yeah, I'm happy to. The other thing is you're going to get these slides, and in the slides is my speaker notes, like verbatim.
Okay,
obviously you'll see I'm not the I'm the kind of person who likes to be behind the scenes. That's why I'm in marketing. So I tend to be a little bit in the back and need to read it a little bit, so that you'll have all those examples in there.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm. You saw Imelda had a hand up.
Go ahead, Imelda.
Go ahead, Imelda.
I need the Jeopardy music. Dun, 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 dun.
We have to okay, there you go.
There I am.
We need to unmute.
Yeah. Do you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. The part that I find very interesting is the how is different for everyone. And what are I know that you went over like the main components of the why, how, and what, but the how part I think is for me. I mean, I know what the how is, but I haven't heard how what are your top 3 in the how that you should have? Is it a demonstration of your product, a point of view that relates to social impact or economic impact? What is that? What's a good how?
Yeah.
Like the 3 principles.
Yeah, I mean, again, this is just kind of repeating what Simon says. It's your strengths, your values, and your guiding principles. But in like more tangible language, this is what people would call your value proposition, like the thing that you think differentiates you, the thing that makes you special and different. And that's what I would look for. I would look for, like, if you compare this company, like this laundromat to that laundromat, what is it that one laundromat has that another one doesn't? So maybe mine also serves beer. I mean, that's the how. Like, and so you would try to highlight the thing that makes you special, and obviously it aligns down from your values.
So you could start with your SWOT, I guess, right? I'm just trying to figure out
sure.
where to
For
lead,
sure.
where to lead my team, so then they could start thinking for themselves. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I think that's right. Exactly, your SWOT.
Cool. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Thanks. Lindsay, we're going to go to you next.
Hi, I'm Lindsay Petty with Data Analytics Technology Advantage, and my questions are for marketing are around being found, right? And so a couple of concepts. One of my daughters, she gave me a great quote from Maya Angelou. People may not remember what you said or what you did, but they'll always remember how you made them feel. But if they don't know you there, then you don't have an impact on how they feel, right? So the best brand in the world is not going to help if you don't have that experience. And then there's this other thing I learned recently from my mentors in Accenture, Mike Erkin, and it was really phenomenal when he said it. He made it really simple. He said, people love to buy things, but they don't like to be sold, right? And so that's a great concept also, right? But still, it's like, okay, how do you get found so that they can know they can buy those things from you? And then the final piece of it is, my sister-in-law is like a fanatic on QVC, right? So they sell people stuff all the time that they didn't know they wanted, right? And so I guess my question is, when I start to look at, being found, how do you manage the being found? If the end goal is I need to be found, and I got these kind of in the context of being found, but in a way that folks will feel a way where they love you, in a way where folks won't feel like they're being sold. But at the same time, to reach the folks, because, in a lot of cases, what I'm selling, folks don't know they need, so people are spending hours and hours on Excel, and I'm telling them, you don't have to do that. We can automate all of that. But they don't know it, so they're not looking for me. So in a lot of cases, it's a QVC type of thing where it's like, oh, you mean I don't have to spend 20 hours a week in Excel? So I guess how do you balance and build a strategy, in that context to be found? Thank you.
Yeah, and so from a marketing perspective, like that would be. I assume you're looking in a digital world, because I know that was one of the responses when I asked folks what they wanted to hear about is how do you do digital, and that's again a huge broad question. But what I will say is speak to them at the level that they're at, which is when you just said you don't have to spend 20 hours doing Excel, then like that's exactly the statement you kind of want to start with is like, hey, I can do this. You don't want to spend 20 hours doing Excel, neither do I. Kind of something that would point right to that differentiation, that some of the how and also the why and your values. And then digitally, there are so many techniques, and you would want an organization or a person who can help you customize that strategy. And so that is likely things like search engine optimization and keyword optimization on your in your digital platforms. You also want to get close to the community that you want to sell to. So maybe you're publishing in community groups that would be your buyers. You're also looking at social media and advertising targets that are targeted again at your buyer group. So that's how you get found, is through diligent kind of targeting, I guess.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, let's keep it going. Latria, you had your hand up?
Okay. So yes, I want to say thank you for that presentation. I actually work in marketing and branding as well, so it's very refreshing to see you reiterate some of the points, and we're working with the client now to talk about the why and why it's important for leadership to lead with that message. So thank you for that. And I really love the golden circle concept. So thank you for sharing. And if I can chime in to add in to Mr. Petty, who I think that was his last name that asked the question. The other strategy I would in people discovering where you are or come to you or how to find you, one of the strategies now in light of what we saw with Facebook and Instagram, earlier this week, is relationship marketing is not dead. So continue to invest in those relationships, get involved with local chambers or groups or nonprofits, and people will get to know you. And once they know who you are, then you can build those relationships, and then it will transform eventually to business. So that's just my little marketing 101 for today.
Yeah, no, that's excellent too. I mean, actually, right now I'm the director of events. I should have mentioned it. You can go to events.
Yeah,
they're coming back. They're coming back.
Yeah. That board service. People look at it's important to be a servant leader. I'm part of that millennial population that wants to know the why and the purpose and why I'm buying a product for you. But it's also a great strategy to go and get involved with those organizations like nonprofits who have other leaders that could be potential customers for you.
For sure.
Good points, lady.
Thank you.
Monica Weaver, you had a question? Did your hand raised?
Yes. Hi. I have been a big fan of the Golden Circle for many years. So I was happy to see that. And I know when I first bought the company, I talked to the sales team and handed them all his book and say, start with why and things like that. And it's very interesting when I went on a couple of sales calls, we worked on the why and getting to know the client, and we oftentimes end up in front of the purchasing person first as a foot into the door. Right. And they're basically like, yeah, what's your commodity? And they like kind of shut it down before you can get into your whole little, here's our purpose. So what do you recommend when the client goes or potential client goes straight there, like, what do you do? I don't want to hear this other stuff.
Yeah, and since that sort of falls outside of marketing and more into procurement, I'll ask one of my procurement folks on the line to help out, because at that point it is about the what, and there are certain things that those folks want to see, like Angel. I don't know if you're on. Maybe you want to talk about it if he's here.
I'll step in for a second if Angel had dropped, but a part of it, what I like to see, when we looking forward is who's really done their homework to see what that company, if you're coming to talk to me right now, I would expect you to know what's really on our website. Like right now, we're excited. Forbes is celebrating Julie Sweet as one of the top women. That lets me know if you come up and you say, congratulations on Julie, you then went to our website and you actually wanted to get to know the company that you're coming to. And I hate to put Kitty on the spot, but I knew Kitty, Cecily and I were at a GMSDC event, and we had talked to so many people, and we were like, wow, we don't really see any match to what we were doing. We both were in procurement. Here comes Kitty, and she had a candy, and it had a little kitty cat on it. And Cecily and I sat there and talked about it for 5 minutes. And it is, again, on how you're coming in and presenting. It's being memorable, right? It's being really memorable. And if you get a chance to talk with each other in here, you'll get to see how some of you I've been knowing for years and, you know, haven't done any work, but we're determined to see where there's some synergies somewhere in there. But this is really good. Such great questions. And, you know, it's like, I'm going to always remember QVC. And Maya Angelou is one of my favorite. Tell the story. Stories to me resonate, but do your homework. That is the best. If you go on our website and you tell me that sustainability is on there, I make my team go on our website, our own internal website, to know what we're doing. Good points, guys.
Okay, thank you.
And just to add another comment here to Monica's question, I think another thing that's important is understanding or getting to know as much as you can about the people you're going to interact, right? Not everyone is the same, right? Someone like me might like to know the why or tell me how you feel. Someone else might get to the point. So do the homework up front, learn how that person thinks. So when you get there, you're going to be ready for that person, because you know he or she don't want to waste any time. They're busy. Just tell them what you have to offer. So that's not always possible, right? You have to have a relationship, try to understand. But I think that helps. If you know the people you're talking to, try to get to know them before you meet with them in person.
Thank you.
So this is really great. Thank you so much, Shelby. Great content. I definitely, you know, everyone seems to have been engaged and have something that they can relate to, contribute, and take back with them. So kudos. Thank you very much. Awesome job. If you have questions and you were not able to get your questions answered, please go ahead and continue to put those in the chat. And we will, as we always do, pull those questions and get you a response. And then we will also post them in the tool. So thank you again, Shelby. And just wanted to let everyone know, we are, like I said, we are wrapping up Symposium 3, and it's so exciting. I am, you know, I cannot believe that, you know, it seems like it was just April a week ago and we were just getting started with our kickoff. So I'm feeling just a great sense of accomplishment of just, you know, the strides that we've made so far and, you know, the plans that we have moving forward. So I want to thank everyone for joining. If you would like to recap this particular symposium, we will post it on Be in the Know along with the deck. And also, if you happen just by chance to not get to sit into that awesome fireside chat that we had with our procurement category leads in IT and HR, that also is in the chat as well. I mean, in the Be in the Know as well. So please, you know, always go back and check the tool, because we are continuously adding content to our digital university with webinars. And it's really great to be able to look at that and, you know, at your leisure, additional learnings. You never know what we may put in there. So it's great if you just check it, make it part of kind of like your daily routine. And then also just want to let you know before we close out, within the next hour, you will get feedback. We want you to give us feedback. So there will be a survey sent to each of you in attendance to provide us feedback. We want to make sure that we're providing content to the class that is, you know, useful. If you have any other recommendations, please reach out to the team. We want to definitely hear from you. It's very important that your time is spent wisely and that we're giving you something that you can use to help to grow your business. In addition, upcoming workshops, super excited to announce that we will be US Bank will be hosting a workshop. I can't talk today. A workshop on a financial and in the financial industry. So we haven't ironed out exactly what the topic is, but we know that it will be phenomenal. So this will be held on November 4th, and you will get an invite forthcoming for that. So definitely, this is not a symposium. This is an optional workshop, but we ask that you take advantage of it. This is a great opportunity to get your questions answered and regarding the area of finance. So we look forward to that particular workshop next month. And then also as we wind down to the end of the year, if there's something that you want to, look at for, suggestion ideas for for next year, we're definitely open. We are in the planning stages of Symposium 4. We are hopeful that we can have an in-person symposium, possibly in Atlanta. So we are working on that, and because we would love to see everyone in person. But we will allow enough time to, for travel and so forth. So we will definitely give you enough time in advance and when that will occur. But we want to make sure it's safe for everyone and everyone feels comfortable to do so. And just lastly, before I wrap, I want to, just in case anyone missed, I want to send a congratulations to Six Consulting for, they were recognized and awarded some Supplier of the Year Class 3 for the Georgia Minority Supplier Development Council. So kudos to Six Consulting. When I was attending the virtual event and I heard them, I was like, oh, wow. So I love it when our mentees are recognized. So congratulations, and Sam and team. And if anyone gets an opportunity to reach out to let them know what a great job they're doing. And
We appreciate it. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. And then, lastly, before I forget, please, I know I've said this in our mentee meeting, but stay tuned for our holiday box link. There will be a link forthcoming for our holiday box, and you do not want to miss it. So I know you've probably attended different virtual events and you've gotten holiday box, but this is the holiday box that you want. So, and if you have anything else, please reach out to myself, Shay, or Tatiana. Again, look out for the email for the feedback today. Please, it just takes a couple of seconds. It's very important that we get this feedback. So, I can tell Nidra that you do agree that we're doing a fantastic job. So, and before, Nidra has one idea, and so she wants to share her idea. So go ahead, Nidra.
Oh, I have such a great idea. So in theme of, today with marketing, right? I am going to send this out, and I'll get, Cecily and Shay and Tatiana on board, is that I would love for the mentees and their mentors to get together and let's have a little competition on coming up with a mentoring on how you would brand supplier diversity. And we will have a winner that will come and get this out, and we'll give you a stage to present this to a lot of our corporate partners. And so I want some of the most innovative ideas out there. And if you've got 1 minute to talk to someone, to tell them about supplier diversity, what would that be? I'm going to write it all out, and there will be what that prize is. There'll be some time. It's going to be good. Some good ideas. I love it. How would you brand your supplier diversity? We have the stage now, so we've got to leverage it. Let's get this going. Great idea, right? Right? Don't y'all love my idea?
That's actually a good idea, Deidre. I like that. So
I don't trust her. Y'all like my idea? Yeah. All right then.
Okay. I like that.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your day, the rest of your week, and we look forward to connecting with you again.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.